Hello, my most amazing artists, and welcome back to art class. For the next 2 weeks, you are going to do a project where you are going to show me 1-point perspective. Now, there are all different kinds of perspective, and the amount of points depends on the amount of vanishing points. Now, we should know what a vanishing point is at this point. We used them when we learned how to draw landscapes and seascapes, and the vanishing point is the point in your picture where as everything gets closer to that point, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until it eventually vanishes. Hence the name of it being a vanishing point. And you're going to do this just using some basic shapes and forms, which we also should already know how to do. We should already know how to take basic shapes and turn them into three-dimensional forms, and we're going to use that using 1-point perspective. So you are going to take some basic shapes and turn them into three-dimensional forms that eventually you can add some color to, like this, with like a fun background, and it's going to make them look like they're all coming from the same point. So I'm going to show you how to do a few of those right here on this board, and then you are going to be able to go work on your own. I'm going to let you choose whatever shapes that you want, but I do want you to try and do at least 4 of them. So maybe 1 per corner. If you want to throw a 5th one in there, I'm going to tell you right now, you only have to do 4, but if you throw in 5, that is going to help me bring the grade up a little bit higher if I'm seeing that you're putting the extra effort in, but I'm not going to make you do it. So you are going to do at least 4 shapes, okay? So at least 4 shapes. All right, some of the easier ones to do are things like squares, rectangles, or triangles. If you want to try a circle to make a cylinder, you can give that a shot. You can see I've got a cylinder right here. All right, so if you want to try that, you can. I'll do one of those just to show you how to do it. But the main part is on your paper. I'm going to do mine a little bit larger so you can see it. You're going to need a piece of paper. You're going to need definitely a pencil. Maybe a black marker if you would like to outline things when you're done, but you don't have to. I didn't do that on this one. But if you want to outline them when you're done, you can. And you're also going to need a ruler. You have to use a ruler. If you don't have an actual ruler, find something in your house that has a straight edge, something like sturdy. Use the edge of a notebook. Use, just something with a straight edge. Doesn't have to be exactly a ruler, but find something straight. Use the edge of another piece of paper, fold it to make it a little bit more sturdy. But you have to use a ruler. I can tell if you don't. All right, first thing you're going to do is you are going to make your vanishing point in the middle of your paper. That's it. Don't make it a giant circle. It's literally just a little point that you can see. And then you're going to start off by creating your shapes. So using my ruler, I'm going to start off with just a basic square. And it's looking a little bit more like a rectangle, but that's okay. All right, so I've got my basic square, and then here's my vanishing point, and I'm going to use my ruler to connect all the points that don't go through the shape to my vanishing point. So I can definitely connect to this corner because it just goes straight to the vanishing point. There's nothing blocking me. I can do the same thing with this corner, and I can do the same thing with this corner, but I cannot connect to this corner because it would go right through my shape. So I'm only doing 1, 2, and 3. You're going to take your ruler, line up the corner. Okay, you can see the corner of my square with my vanishing point. Holding my ruler still and connecting. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with this corner here. Find the corner to your vanishing point. Make sure you can see both of those things. Make sure you're holding your ruler. Make sure you're holding your ruler the right way. Don't hold it by the end so that when you trace, it's going to get all wiggly, or the opposite way, okay? You want to hold your ruler. Remember, it always helps to make the L if you're a righty, and to hold your ruler like that. I'm holding it a little bit weird because I don't want to block you guys with the camera, but, when you're working on yours, hold it in a way where you know that it won't move. All right, now these lines are all a little bit thicker too. And now I'm going to do the same thing here. Vanishing point, corner, and there you go. And then I'm not doing this corner because that would go through my entire shape, and it's not a see-through shape, it's solid. All right, and there we go. And then you just have to add some parallel lines. Now remember, parallel lines are lines that run side by side and they never intersect, okay? Parallel lines would not be like this and this because eventually these lines are going to hit. Parallel lines completely are lined up side by side, and no matter how far they go for, they will never intersect. They will never run into each other. So you want to complete your shape by lining it up with the edge, move it out just a smidge. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing here. Move it down until it lines up with where my other parallel line is. Okay. So my square only has a very tiny little bottom, but that just happens to be the way that it is based on the corner that I put it in. And there we go. I'm going to do another one over here where I'm going to do a triangle. Let's hop to the other side here. I'm going to move you guys over here so I can reach a little bit better. All right, I'm going to create my triangle. Okay, and we'll talk about with your triangle, you have a couple different options depending on what you want to create with that. But either way, again, I'm going to I'm going to line up the corners that don't go through my shape. So this corner's fine, this corner's fine, this corner no, because that's going to go right through my triangle. So I'm only doing 2 here. All right, so I've connected my triangle, and now it's up to me. If I grab my examples here, you can see that depending on which way you're holding your triangle, you can either create a triangular prism where you can do parallel lines to create kind of like that boxy triangle, kind of like a tent shape. Or if you were to draw a line that comes out of the top, then you would be creating a pyramid. So it kind of depends on which form you want to create. So if I want to do a pyramid, okay, if I wanted to do a triangular prism, I could simply do a parallel line right here. But I'm actually going to do a pyramid for this one. So I am going to draw a line that comes out of the top of my triangle. And there we go. I've created a pyramid. All right, so it's totally up to you. I would probably encourage doing a couple boxes, a couple triangles. And again, if you want to try a circle, you can go for it. I'm going to do one of those real quick. So I'm going to hop to the other side for that. Now, if I were to do a circle or a cylinder, I'm just going to pick a spot on my paper. You want to spread everything out. You kind of want to stick for the corners. If you do stuff straight up and down, it's going to look a little weird. But straight up and down actually isn't bad for the circles in the cylinder. So I'm going to make an oval right there. And I'm going to grab my ruler. We are going to... Now for this, you don't really have a point. Like on a triangle and a square, you have the actual corners to line them up to. You kind of have to just go off of the edges of the shape. So I'm going to line up the edges here. And actually, what I'm doing here, now if you only draw a circle, you're actually going to end up making a cone. So I'm going to do a cone first. And there you go. So I've now made a 3D cone. Now, all right, so remember, I want you to do at least 4 shapes. Maybe trying a 5th one wouldn't be a bad idea, but at least 4. Stick to the corners of your paper. At least try a rectangle or a square, do some sort of triangle, you know, give like just a regular cone, or remember, if you want, you can take your pencil and you can either leave it as a cone, or if you add a curved line, you end up with a cylinder. So totally up to you how you want to do that. Try out whatever you want. Have a little fun with it. What I would recommend is definitely take a piece of scrap paper, do a little practice first, and then do your good project. Now, when you are all done, I would encourage you to definitely add color. I am going to be looking for that. So for the examples with color, you can see that I made sure, just like if you were coloring a regular form, you would not make it all one color. It is 3-dimensional, and you need to use value to show lights and darks to make it look like it's 3D and popping out. So I would definitely make the front part of them a little bit lighter, maybe do that with colored pencil. I actually used marker on the darker side, so I kind of mixed and matched my colored pencil with my marker for this project. And then if you would like to, I did do a checkerboard background. If you just want to leave your background plain and just leave it white, that's fine. But if you want to put a little extra something in there, sometimes it's very effective if you make your shapes very colorful and then just do a black and white background. Or reverse it, do all of your shapes in black and white and then do a colorful background. See what that looks like. So I'm kind of giving you a little bit of creative freedom here. Really, your only rules are that I want at least 4 shapes. I'm gonna be counting the 4. If you wanna do more than 4, that's great. I'll definitely give you extra points if you do more than 4. But I do wanna see at least 4. Make sure you're using a ruler. And as always, just do your best. I can't wait to see what your 1-point perspective shapes look like. If you need to rewind and pause the video at any point, you can do that. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. And again, you will have 2 weeks to work on this project. And I can't wait to see what you come up with. And I'll see you guys next time for art class.